can please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jordan Crook. I'm a writer at TechCrunch.
And which sections do you guys focus on?
I'm mostly focused on mobile, consumer-facing, social. So I like to cover Vine and Snapchat are two of the companies that I cover the most. But I'm also interested in gadgets. And as you know, TechCrunch covers all startups from all walks of life. So pretty comprehensive coverage.
Let's talk about some trends that you see and you write about in the spaces that you focus on.
Well, I think that there is a big trend around ephemeral messaging. The idea that you don't have to save everything. That content can just be enjoyed in the moment. So I think Snapchat is clearly a leader there, but I think we'll see more and more companies kind of figure out something around that. I think people are also focused a lot on video, mobile video, and whatever way that they can put that into consumers' hands, and especially if they can monetize it, right? So that's the big focus there is let consumers make beautiful videos the same way that Instagram made our mobile photos beautiful. So I think users are really interested in that, and I think that advertisers are also really interested to see what's going to happen there.
As far as gadgets go, again, trends, what are you seeing?
We're definitely looking at a lot of wearables. So Google Glasses obviously gonna make a splash, but there's also quantified self devices that are getting better and better, more precise, measuring more things, more and more beautiful software that's paired along with them. I also think smartwatches are something that we're going to see a lot more of. So Samsung just released, the Galaxy Gear smartwatch, and Apple is rumored to also release a smartwatch of their own. So I think we'll start to see a lot more people looking at their wrists for their text messages and their phone calls than they are reaching into their pocket.
And you mentioned Apple. Which platform do you see most people adopting to in terms of wearable technology?
Well, it's difficult to say. So I think that a lot of app developers choose to go iOS first, and that's shifting as we see more and more people on Android, right? So Android has the majority market share here in the U.S., so developers want to get a hold of that as quickly as possible, but iOS seems to be the gateway for a lot of software developers. So for wearables, I think that they're naturally pairing with iOS early on, and then they release an Android version later. But we'll probably see a lot more people push both at the same time.
If you were to mention two hot startups that you've seen, you think that would have a great chance in making it in both spaces, social and wearables. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, okay. I think that in social, front back is going to be kind of the next big thing. They figured out a way to do photo sharing that isn't just the same old Instagram. So you take a picture and it'll show your face as well as my face. So it's actually really intimate because you're not just looking at the person's face or what they're looking at. You're seeing both at the same time. So I think front back is pulling away there. And then I think for wearable technology, there have been a lot of small companies that have been in the space. We've got the smartwatch from Impulse. We've got the Pebble. We've got Whim, and they've done fine, and they've got lots of people buying their products. But I think that it'll be the big manufacturers like Samsung and Apple that'll make a dent in wearables.
And as far as this event goes in general, how do you see the difference between this one and the one before in terms of the focus areas or the quality of the startups or?
Well, we haven't gotten to the battlefield yet, so I haven't actually gotten to see the companies that perform in the battlefield get up on stage and present yet. But every year our companies and our applicants are better and better, and I think sometimes we've had a focus in the past on more consumer-facing stuff and stuff that is maybe incremental or innovating in a smaller way. And this year, I think you'll see that a lot of the companies that we've chosen are solving really hard problems and really big problems. I don't want to give anything away before they present, but I think you'll see a lot of really serious problems being solved up on our stage.
So lastly, I got asked this question so many times, and I'm gladly I'm talking to you about this. If you have a startup who is, trying to make strides in other markets and also the U.S., how can they reach out to you guys? Say companies in the Middle East, which is the market that we focus on. How can we reach out to you guys and get some coverage of some sorts?
Yeah, well, we absolutely want to hear from people that aren't in Silicon Valley or New York. We care a lot about middle America as well as international startups. I would say the best way that you can get a hold of me particularly is Jordan at TechCrunch, Jordan at TechCrunch.com. Email me. I'm ready to listen. And you can also email tips at TechCrunch. And that goes to everyone at TechCrunch's inbox, and we get to see it. And I'd say the last way to reach out to us is to look at which writers are covering the startup that you're really focused on. So we all have kind of general beats. We all have things that we like to cover. And if you pay attention to what we're writing, you'll see that. And reach out on Twitter. We all tweet regularly. We're all checking Twitter all the time. So use Twitter to your advantage, definitely.
Fantastic. Jordan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Basil.
I look forward to meeting you again.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.